name's Owen, and I'm the Dungeon Master of our Return of the Giants 5th edition homebrew campaign.
Hi, I'm Ali. I'm playing Lyra, the Eladrin Spore Druid, and she is just a little bit obsessed with mushrooms.
Hi, my name's Simon. I'm playing the character of Ember. I'm a wildfire druid who's on a quest to be the very best there ever was.
Hi, I'm Dave, and I play Harry Harrington, the Harrengon, the roguish merchant with the heart of gold.
My name is Christian. I'm playing Bartholomew, the romantic dancing Owlin, Paladin of devotion.
Hi, my name is Matt, and I'll be playing Niles Silverwind, the Owlin, Way of the Sympathy Monk.
Hey guys, I'm Jared. I play the character of Threign, the boisterous frost giant, the Goliath, path of the giant Barbarian.
Hello there, lovely listener. This is just a warning to let you know that this episode of Return of the Giants may contain adult language or adult themes. Hello! Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to the Lost Archives. It is wonderful to see all of your gorgeous faces once again and have your gorgeous ears available for us to speak into while we play some Dungeons and Dragons. We are very, very excited to be back. We have got only 2 apologies for tonight, which is really nice, given how things have been tracking the last couple of weeks. Ali and Jared aren't able to make it because of other stuff. Obviously, Jared's been absent for a little bit. He's got some stuff going on, so we'll hopefully see Jared again in the near future. And Ali, unfortunately, won't be able to make it tonight either. But we do have Dave, Simon, Christian, and Matt joining me for our Return of the Giants campaign. We are very, very excited about. I don't think we've got too many exciting things to share behind the scenes. Just that we unfortunately will not have a session next Wednesday. I'll be away in Perth for work. I've got to fly over and do some theatre support over in Perth, so I won't be able to run the session because I do not have a laptop. So that will be something I invest in very, very shortly. Maybe a Christmas present in July. Christmas in July present from me to me will be a laptop, so that when I do have to do these trips, I can actually still run the stream remotely. So I'll
and the financial sales are coming out.
Exactly what I was thinking, Dave. Exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, be great if interest rates could drop just a little bit, just a little bit more.
It's 50-50 at this point, I'm afraid.
I know. Literally flip a coin, right? Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So we'll see. But yeah, unfortunately, no session on Wednesday. What was that? Sorry, Dave?
I said, where the economy?
Exactly. So unfortunately... Yeah?
Oh, I was going to say, I may need to step out now.
No, go. Sorry, I'll do the recap and we'll get everything started. Don't you worry. We'll see you soon. We'll see you in a sec.
Bye-bye.
It's right, you won't come back and you'll be like shot by a poison.
He'll come back in. It'll be like Harry's like metal fist around his throat, holding him up in the air, saying "exterminate" or something like that, right? Yeah. So I don't think we've got any other fun behind the scenes news to share. Just unfortunately, no session next Wednesday. But we will obviously still have our Avatar Legends on Thursday, both tomorrow and next Thursday, which will be really, really great, and really looking forward to that as well. Simon.
Well, my one question is, was it last weekend that you had your live session?
Unfortunately, not in the end. Due to a number of factors, Yeah,
we had to shuffle it around. They ended up getting something else, luckily, to fill the time slot, but it ended up being moved around, and due to some other people who were meant to be coming having problems, and then me myself, I called it off. It wasn't Owen's call.
It ended up sort of being, I think, only me and Arsenio and possibly Shaney. I think there was like a question mark there. Still Shaney as well. Like, so it dropped very, very precipitously, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I think one of the things I've noted at the moment is that, like, especially in the climate at the moment, I think at the age we're at and with what's happening with the economics in Australia, there's a lot of extra stresses on people, and they are starting to manifest in lots of different ways. So there's lots of people having problems. Even unrelated to financial stress, just like it's creating, I think, stresses in the environment, because most people now that I know and I'm friends with are going through rough times in the last couple of weeks / months for various different reasons, and like genuinely most people I know, which is really crazy to be at an age where everyone's kind of like having a bit of a tough time. So the main thing we want to take away is that, like, take care of yourself, make sure that you're doing things that you really love, that bring you joy, and spending time with the people that bring you joy as well. And hopefully that's what we're doing tonight with D&D. I hope. I hope I bring you joy at some points. And horror as well. I like to horrify you as well with some of the stuff. Absolutely.
Gotta be a combination.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, how can you know?
Every few sessions when you level us up.
That's it. Yeah. Well, I mean, how can you appreciate the dizzying highs if I don't also give you the crushing lows during the session as well, right? Like it really helps to. You need to feel the full spectrum of human emotion here. I'm doing you a favor, if anything. And with that gaslighting out of the way, let's do our recap and get into the session. Unless anyone else has anything fun to share. Any other fun side news? No. Dave's beard is looking magnificent. We discussed that before we went live. It's looking awesome. So what do you, because you mentioned that you were going to get it shaped. What are you kind of thinking for the shape? What are you going to go for?
Oh, just like one of those like stronger jaw kind of, just like a nice neat.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So not
yeah.
what
But
Simon and
worried
I
it's a
have
bit
right now.
sparse.
Yeah.
It's not like-
Mine's more to hide the
Yeah.
double chin.
Yeah.
Not so much for anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, something. Yeah. Okay. I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait. And can we get you? I'm thinking maybe like a special Manscaped kit for Dave with the Lost Archives branding on it to help him like manage his.
Yeah, or even just sponsor us Manscaped, right? Like
That is an actual company.
Like,
It's really funny. I didn't
we'll
actually
do-
mean
we'll
to
do
directly
that.
call out that company in
Yeah.
particular, but they are a company. Yeah, true. Absolutely.
we'll do the plug.
How
Yeah,
much
it's
of
fun.
yourself?
That's really
How much
fun.
of yourself would you shave live on stream?
How much would they allow us to shave on live stream?
Just an innocent question. Just want to know.
It's just a shot of my ankles and like the hair's falling down. Yeah.
We could do that like really like strangely cinematically as well. Do like a coming in like all blurred out, and then as we focus in, you just get like the hair drifting down from above.
Yeah.
I'll get my people to reach out to your
Manscaped.
people, Dave. We'll get this figured
Listen.
out. Manscaped, yeah, you know where to contact us. Oh my god. Well, on that note, let's do our recap and let's jump into the session. Let me quickly pull open our notes from the previous session, and I will catch us up to speed. The Tempest Adventuring Guild, a name now legendary across the lands of Nostea, has formed a brand new team. Lyra, Niles, Harry, Ember, Threign, and newcomer Bartholomew are exploring the vast caverns of the Underdark. Drawn below by rumours of stone giants taking over territory, it has come to light that the Duergar are providing the stone giants with slaves as part of a massive mining operation. After running afoul of some drow assassins following their decision to help Zaylin, a renegade Lothsworn drow, the team found themselves separated from their companion Harry, taken prisoner by the Shadowblades. Luckily for Harry, the rest of the team discovered his plight while attempting to use a sending stone to throw off the drow assassins, successfully convincing them to meet with Harry on the way to the old wizard tower the Society of Brilliance use as a base in the Underdark. On the way to the meetup point, the team made a brief detour via Blindenstone, learning a massive draconic monstrosity called a Behir had taken up residence, the city now completely abandoned. Arriving at the meetup point, the team were met with the sight of Harry unleashing eldritch magic to free himself, but also alerting the drow assassins. Emerging from the walls of the canyon, large worm-like insects rushed toward the party with a horrifying, chittering noise, but at the last second pulled back, the attack halted by the leader of the Shadowblades. Offered a single chance to save their lives, the team were called upon to give up the location of Zaylin, something they at first resisted but unintentionally revealed during the conversation. With the drow no longer needing them alive, the situation devolved quickly into combat, at first favouring the drow, but with the unleashing of an earth elemental by Niles, the battle quickly turned. With one drow left alive as prisoner, a male drow called Zerum, the team took a brief opportunity to rest, Harry having sustained a pretty brutal injury during the fight. Knowing Harry isn't in the right shape to face off against the Behir in Blindenstone, the team decided to make a stopover at the Brilliant Tower, the base of operations for the Society of Brilliance in the Underdark. Playing it safe, initially only Niles and Bart approached, passing through the front gates and entering a large garden full of Underdark flora. Suddenly, a figure floated down from the inverted tower. Purple skin, bald head and tentacles where a mouth should be, the stranger introduced itself as Albus. Despite their reservations, Niles and Bart kept things civil and were soon introduced to the other members of the tower, a bugbear Tetarch and a changeling Sylvie. As the rest of the team rejoined the party, Harry accompanied Sylvie to an upper floor for some healing, while Ember stayed outside with Zerum to investigate the garden. With Ember's keen eyes, he soon found what he had been searching for, a Susa tree sprout growing in the outer sections of the garden. Knowing its powerful ability to nullify magic, Ember took a small cutting, tucking it away for later. Inside, Lyra and Niles spent some time with Tetarch, showing him the fragments of the mural they had taken from the Kuatoa Cavern. During this conversation, they learned a little more about the current situation in the Underdark and how the stone giants are operating in the lower caverns. Meanwhile, Bart decided to have another go at chatting with the mind flayer Albus, hoping to find some information in his library and learn a bit more about the Illithids. While Bart did get some insights into the mind flayer history, he learned a much more horrifying secret: the truth of the Aarakocra and Owlin's arrival in Nostea and their troubled past in the Plane of Air. Upstairs, Sylvie had begun attempting to heal Harry, feeding him a concoction of herbs and mushrooms which seemed to trigger his heartstone, causing it to pulse with power. As Niles and Bart headed upstairs to check on Harry, they discovered a rather disturbing scene. Part of Harry's hand has now been replaced with metal, which looks to have grown outwards from the Heartstone. And that is where we left off last session. Harry, as you slowly come awake, your eyes fluttering open, your hand feels a little bit cold and there's almost like a faint tingling in your fingers. For Bartholomew and Niles, you've already seen that part of the skin on the back of Harry's hand has been replaced with interlocking plates of metal, which Sylvie pulled apart to show you inside where flesh once would have been is now clockwork and these long strands of this silvery metal that have replaced Harry's veins and arteries. On the underside of his hand, where his palm would be, another gemstone now sits. Not quite the same cut and luster as the Heartstone. This one more looks almost like a perfectly spherical glass bead, I would say, but softly glowing with a... what was your color again? It wasn't the red of Ganondorf.
Green.
Light green, was it?
Emerald
green, yeah, pulsing with... That's right, you wanted to have the emeralds. Yeah, the Chaos Emerald from Sonic. Yeah, that's right, I remember now. Pulsing with like an emerald green color. Yeah, Harry, as you kind of awaken, yeah, your hand, it's almost like a little bit of pins and needles in and around your hand, and there's a sensation of almost like a bit of a coldness coming from it as well. As you slowly flutter open your eyes, Sylvie rushes over and quickly pats your forehead with a damp towel. Are you feeling all right, Harry?
Yeah, my soul feels. Look, see, my soul. It's not lingering around.
Which hand do you use to?
The opposite hand.
Opposite hand. Okay, cool. Well, yes, that's the good news. Let's focus on that. Procedure worked perfectly. In that regard, perfectly.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate all the help.
Can both of you... What... Harry, did she just peel away at your body?
No, she gave me a lot of cuddles and helped me go to sleep. Really is the best sleep I ever had.
No, I mean just now. I'm pretty sure I looked at what should have been bone marrow.
Yeah, I can't see my face. Give me a mirror.
No. It's your hand, Harry. I mean, I was hoping to kind of break it to you gently, but have a look at your hand.
Harry looks at his left hand.
No, that looks good. Yep, that hand's perfect.
Yeah.
So
it's actually a paw, because
The other one.
Does the arm feel heavier?
Very, very faintly so. It's almost indiscernible. I'd say the heaviness comes from your own psychology, right? Where like it's clearly something's wrong with your hand. Clearly something's up. There's a heaviness in your heart. You don't really want to look at it, I guess, is more where the heaviness comes from, right? It's like if I don't look at it, it's not real. I don't have to think about it right now. But there is something up.
Okay, Harry looks at his paw. It wasn't like that before. At least not that I know of.
No, I swear this wasn't me. Whatever that thing is in your hand, it reacted. It reacted to the magic. The attempt I was doing to heal you. It didn't like it one bit.
Just from the doorway at the moment, I had arrived a little bit because I think at first it was only
just Niles.
Yeah, Niles and Matt who'd mentioned he was going up. So I'm guessing due to the exclaimed noises, probably like pushing over maybe a couple of glass objects and Niles is.
Oh, there was a loud hoot from upstairs.
Yeah, hoot from upstairs.
Yeah.
I would have followed behind.
Yeah.
So from behind his shoulder, I am just going to try to send out like a small bamf from me of radiant energy. Just a divine sense on. I've done it a couple of times on Harry because he keeps being like real fucking creepy sometimes.
Yeah, some stuff seems to be going on with Harry. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna do it again. I'll chuck that in the chat.
I'm just an innocent little weapon.
Anything that is desecrated or consecrated, so an object or place, so whether or not the thing in the palm of his hand is desecrated or consecrated, or if he in any form or regard is listed as celestial, fiend, or undead.
None of those things are true. There is no sense of activate Harry.
I have deathly appearance, so I still have necrotic energy persists inside of you. Is the description of
You do, yeah. You don't register as an undead. I was gonna get to that. You don't register as an undead.
Yeah.
There's no response back for any of those requirements. But there is something you sense from Harry. First off is I would say, given that it does specifically sense the presence of undead, there's a faint, almost like a shadow. Like if you were to do this as an X-ray, there'd be like a kind of a shadowy appearance on the X-ray. It's the magical equivalent of that. You don't get like a strong rebound back. Yes, this is an undead, but there's a faint sense of whatever that energy was that was coursing through his body that kind of separated his soul from him. Harry was one step away from being an undead. That is what is required to create an undead. You separate the soul from the body and the body stays animated. Literally, Harry's soul was connected to him by a thread. So it's obviously better than it was. No sense of Fae or Fiend or Celestial from the gemstone, but there is, as you do this magic, all of you see, anyone with a passive perception of 10 or higher sees Harry's gemstone almost pulse with coloured light, with that emerald green. It intensifies just for a moment as the magic washes over it, almost as if it's acknowledging the magic itself as it touches it.
That shouldn't happen. Beep, 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 beep. He's pushing the crystal, seeing if it does anything.
It's the weirdest thing, Harry. This is metal and crystal. As you touch it, you shouldn't be able to feel this. But you kind of can. It almost feels like you're touching skin, very faintly, but there is still sensation.
Harry, if you were to quantify how you're feeling as something like hit points, what would you say? Are you feeling good?
Well, I feel much better than before he came up here. I feel look, I moved my arm and it moves at the right time.
Okay, I'm not sure how this will go because, to be honest, I haven't really done anything like it or seen at least any of our group do it since the weird interaction with Lyra. I'll step past Niles. Let's try this and do like a awkward romantic part where like putting hands on the opposite side of the glass and try to put my hand up towards Harry, so Harry, you can sort of like palm to palm with our
a slow high five with extended contact in the middle is what I'm hearing, right?
Yeah,
cool.
Interlocking fingers.
Yeah.
Harry goes in.
Yeah, of course he does. Does he go for a hug as well? Maybe.
It's like hold hands for a second and then come in for like a bro hug.
Nice.
Bartle, like hold your shoulder for a sec, just please.
you maybe I read the room wrong.
We can hug in a second. I love you. That's why I came to save you. And I'm just gonna. Is there any reaction like there was with Lyra?
Is this your hand with the stone? Putting your hand with the stone up to his?
I want my stone to touch his stone.
Okay, here's what happens. First things first, I need you to please roll me a D100. Immediately something does happen. I want to know how much of it happens. As you get your stone closer to Harry's, for the rest of you, your stones have been a very consistent, very sort of like a light blue glow. Very, very faint. The stone itself almost looks like a dark blue crystal with a very faint light blue glow in the center of it. And that hasn't changed. But as you bring your stone closer to Harry's, you watch as the blue begins to fade into this aqua and then into full green the closer it gets to Harry's gemstone. As your hands touch, you feel that magnetic pull. Like almost like this sense of this like friction holding your hand in place. And as you feel that pull, that magnetic tug, you watch as Harry's gemstone begins to flash and yours begins to flash. Rapid successions of color, almost like a Morse code flicking on and off, these little sudden random flashes of light. 59 for the D100. Okay.
Just above average.
Yeah. But for a brief second, you see below you this dark, empty void. Almost this mirrored reflection of blackness, but everything reflected in it is sort of, it's almost warped and out of focus. And as you look down at your feet, you see this mirrored version of you. And as it turns and looks at you with these green glowing eyes, you watch as it slowly shifts into the form of Harry, and then slowly begins shifting into this other, more mechanical looking form. As you blink, the vision vanishes, and that pull on your hand suddenly becomes a magnetic repulsion as your hands are pushed apart.
I'm probably not going to say anything. I'll just lament on it for now. After the books and the revelation of my family, there's way too much shit that I've been dealing with at the moment.
Did Harry see anything while that happened?
You don't get any visions, Harry, but there is this. You feel the attraction and then the repulsion from the gemstones.
Okay.
Well, you've got one too. Hang on. What are these things? I should have asked this before. I didn't. I just thought it was some sort of jewelry, some sort of like accessory that Harry had. I didn't think it was something magical.
It's what Tetak was interested in.
Yeah, it's giant tech.
Sorry, you've got giant tech implanted into your flesh. That doesn't sound very hygienic.
I don't know if it is, to be honest. This one kind of attacked me.
He kind of just happened.
Right. And Tetak knows about this? Is he... Do I need to remove these?
He seems more interested in Hadar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. You might have to remind him. Just show it to him again and just ask him if he wants me to take a look at it. I don't... Again, I'm not a medical person. I just know a lot about like herbs, botany.
Oh, question actually.
Yeah?
Do you have any herbs that can help someone trip balls?
You want to get really high?
An outer body experience. Supposedly, according to our group, I haven't experienced it yet, but you undergo visions through dreams. I'm wondering if there's some sort of magic that could be self-induced to force this, maybe. Now that you mentioned that you're a botanist.
Are you looking for like magic, like scrying sort of stuff, or more like dreams? Like you want to have really, really crazy dreams? Because I've got some herbs that'll really like fuck you over in a good way.
I'm kind of feeling this is more like an astral projection or outer body experience.
Niles nods at this point and goes, yes, something we've experienced. That's close enough to Niles' voice. Something we've experienced with our gemstones. We sometimes get to see images of the past, experience the lives of giants come before. It's a good idea, Dream. Maybe we could somehow make this happen with if we put ourselves to sleep.
That's what I'm thinking, because every time we've gained information that's useful to the past, if there's a way that we could force it consistently, that would be amazing, even just one extra time.
I do wonder if maybe magic might not be the way to go, though, because what if it interferes with whatever magic is making these dreams come true? But herbs, I think, I can't see how herbs could be a problem if it just helps us get to sleep.
Well, if you could look into that, I'm more than happy to sort of sit here and let you study it.
I can give you herbs to knock you out. I literally just gave some to Harry before to knock him out when he was being a problem. Soporifics I can do.
They were good herbs.
They were really good herbs.
Good herbs.
They're good herbs.
Yeah.
I have to say, that dosage that I gave you, I was really spitballing how much, but I think I nailed it.
Yeah, I even thought I saw my mother.
She smiles, pats you on the head, and then slowly transforms into a Harrengon, a very matronly Harrengon form, and then just grabs your cheek and gives it a little pinch, a little gentle pinch.
Yeah, I think I'm still high.
No. This is real. Rest your wee little head, young one.
Harry lies down again.
She slowly transforms back into the inverse coloration of Niles and nods and goes, if you're looking for herbs to knock you out, I can help you out. That's easy. If you're looking for herbs to give you really weird dreams, like change your perception, I've got stuff for that too.
To be honest, I'm not totally sure what I think would work in this moment. I feel like someone that's experienced it that also has knowledge of herbs would be helpful for this. Would you mind going down to the gardens and seeing our Firbolg?
Yeah, of course. What's he doing in my garden?
Is he not meant to be there? I think he's picking things.
Sorry, what? Quite protective of my garden. How hard it is to grow plants in the
He would
Underdark?
always make sure that he's not taking more that's needed, I think.
You watch as
And
she
then
slowly,
go
like, the appearance of Niles that she's taken on, obviously he's a changeling, she can change her form. You watch as horns begin to grow out, Niles' beak retracting back into a snout, a wolfish snout full of fangs, as she slowly takes on this much more terrifying appearance, growing in height a little bit as she does so. What's he doing to my garden?
Helping it?
We'll see about that. And you watch...
He's a druid. He does good things for plants.
He does good things for plants. Could you make me a persuasion check, please, Harry? As she goes to...
I have disadvantage, right, because of the deathly appearance.
Oh, you do. Sorry about that, mate. But you've got advantage on... one of them was a natural 20.
That was a nat 20 and an 18. Yep.
Could we... I was about to say before the results showed, because am I sort of helping with the persuasion?
You by alerting her to the fact that there's someone in her garden picking her herbs,
okay.
you
Yeah,
had
true,
already
true.
not done some good in that instance.
Maybe I would have had disadvantage if I didn't already have disadvantage.
18.
18's not bad.
You watch as she kind of pauses for a second, spins around, her features taking on a much more rabbit-like appearance once again as she looks at you, Harry. A druid, you say? And he knows how to take care of things? He's not just going to just take everything from the garden, just walk around stomping about, taking stuff.
He's one of our healers.
That's something Threign would do. No, that's not what maybe would do at all.
The Goliath? He's not in the garden, is he? Those big
I will-
boots chomping my precious plants.
I will whisper that he's in the garden too. Shut the fuck up.
I honestly don't know where he is.
That's fair. I think it's best
Before you
if
go-
I head down right now and make sure everything's okay and my precious garden is not being destroyed by ignorant people.
Do you
and
guys have somewhere that you work on gemstones at all?
gemstones?
Yeah, I just have some tinkering I wanted to do.
You could use the workshop one floor up. It's not. We've not got any like jewelers supplies or things like that. We don't. None of us really. We're researchers. Gemstones aren't really an area of much.
I'll have a look. You check on the garden. Priorities.
We don't really have a geologist. I'll be back. We'll find something for you. With that, you watch she rushes downstairs. As she pushes past Niles and disappears, Niles turns and looks at Harry and goes, "Do you think Ember and Threign are going to be all right?"
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Are you going to be all right, Harry? Your hand.
Yeah, why wouldn't they be?
Your hand is metal. Can you feel your fingers? How is blood getting into your fingers?
I feel better than Eva. And Harry does a little dance and finishes off with the robot.
Insight check.
That's fair.
It's not good.
I think Niles would do one too. I'll roll one for Matt
Yeah,
as
it's
well.
actually horrible. That's 6. My minus
He's
1.
dying. He's actually dying.
Harry's a tough rabbit to read, even at the best of times. I mean, you've done a number of divine senses on Harry for the very reason that you can't really suss Harry out. You're not really sure what Harry's deal is. And unfortunately, that trend seems to continue. Harry could be masking. If he is masking, he's masking really well. Hard bunny to read. Let me roll for Niles really quickly. Sorry,
Can I roll to see how good my dance is?
Sure. Performance check, please.
Oh, that's not one.
That's a natural 1. For a total of 8.
Down the stairs, down the wizard tower.
He actually becomes a robot.
You watch as Harry, as you go to do this dance, the effects of the drug that Sylvie gave you, the soporific that knocked you out, still in your system. And as you go to kind of like stand up, immediately all the blood just rushes to your head and you feel very lightheaded and a bit dizzy. but you're kind of committed to this dance at this point, and you give it your best shot.
Oh, yeah.
Your first kick sends the chair that Sylvie was sitting on next to you flying across the room. Almost has to dodge to get out of the way of this thing as it crashes against the wall, knocking over beakers, which then tip to the floor and shatter. As you sort of like wobble away from that, losing balance, your hand flies up and bumps into a shelf, knocking a whole bunch of books off it, which tumble down onto the ground, tripping you up and causing you to sort of go into a bit of a roll. You then quickly stand up and do a single robot arm and go beep boop. It's your final dance.
Fine. Yeah, I'm just gonna clean these up.
I still
16 for Niles. Niles immediately puts a hand on your shoulder, gently guides you back to the table, and sits you down on the examination bench. Harry, I think you've been through quite a lot, so it would be best if you just sit tight, just for a moment.
Yeah, I think you're right, Niles. I think I'll tightly sit. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna leave both of you to get over this concussion that I think you've definitely sustained, so please follow his instructions. I'll be back in a moment. I'm just gonna
come get me before you guys leave.
Yeah, obviously. Oh no, Niles should stay here with you.
I'm not leaving your side, Harry. I'm a bit worried about you.
I'll be back in a moment.
It'll be a hoot.
And hoot, and I'll make my way upstairs to see if there's something that I can use to finally finish this amulet off.
Brilliant. I think let's stick with you for this little bit, and then we'll jump down to Ember in the garden. So, but as you head upstairs, indeed you can see what looks like a number of like workbenches and work tables that have been set up. Mostly the items here look like they are for collecting samples from plants and animals. Like there's really a lot of things like forceps, scissors, things like that, which is designed to kind of cut little sections of samples off. There's a lot of glass jars, a lot of glassware in this room actually. On the far side wall, as you come up the stairs, you can see probably Tetarch's archaeology workbench. I mean, you know that he is an archaeologist. He said a number of times that he works on unearthing ruins, and you can see a number of tools which clearly belong to him. Pickaxes, brushes, shovels, mallets, things like that, designed to help him unearth items. And these are pretty close to what you might need for your jeweler's tools.
Yeah.
There's stuff that you can work with.
So the necklace itself that I'm trying to create, this sort of necklace of my devotion, it's basic sort of just leather rope around it that then comes down to what was it? Goose was helping me bend the metal. I'm pretty sure she was
Gook.
Gook. Gook, the Swift Merblin, who was helping me bend sort of winding bits of metal into a bird nest. And the idea was that inside that bird nest, I was then going to place 3 of these special gems to myself, creating an avian nest in more of like an amulet fashion. For the home that I hope to one day build with Satine. The nest, from what I remember, is already done. I did that with Grook. The rope's already been completed. I just needed to collect the 3 items which I've collected, and now I think the process is just fitting them inside and then maybe just tightening the metal a little bit, which sounds like all 3 of those things could be done with just forceps, and I was even thinking the little hammer, just
forceps, pliers, and a mallet should cover you nicely, I reckon.
Okay, I'll pull out and place them all on his table, piece by piece. The metal bent by me and Gook when we were talking about Gook's loved ones. The rope, which I know that the rope just seems unimportant, but the rope's special to me as well. The rope was some of the first sort of gear that the Tempest Guild, along with clothes and a weapon, gave me with a drinking skin and whatnot, stuff when I was just sort of naked with nothing but my blade, I think. So I'll grab the rope out that the Tempest Guild, and I think it was Lyra gave me very first, and then I'll pull out the 3 gems, which was the first one being the aquamarine. That was the gemstone that I managed to find through a locate object when we were shown kindness by the Myconids, and we did the ceremony for their lost one that they loved. I'll grab out the piece of ritual fragment gem from the Kuatoan ritual, where I nearly lost track of my devotion to Satine, and then I'll finally pull out the onyx. Nice and simple and basic, not as expensive as the aquamarine, but the onyx. The onyx I thought was from the Swiftnerblin?
Yeah, I believe you got that. I believe you got that in Blindenstone, didn't you? From memory.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. From the Swiftnerblin and them sort of looking at the devastation of their town. I think it was on the way to Blindenstone.
Yeah, in the tunnels. I think it was in the tunnels. Yeah.
And I'll grab all of those and slowly start to try placing them so they form this like Zelda-like trinity inside it, and then
like
start
the eggs in the nest.
Yeah, and then slowly start closing the metal around them.
Yeah, nice. Could I please get a sleight of hand check with advantage, please? You've got good tools, you're in a good workshop, most of the work's already done. Advantage is definitely warranted here.
Oh, thank God.
19's a good start. 19's a good start. Oh no, that was it. Sorry, yeah, because you've done it with advantage. Absolutely. Alrighty.
Yeah.
You actually rolled pretty well both times, actually.
Yeah, 19 and 17.
Yeah.
As I'm doing this as well, I'm going to repeat out loud my vow. It's a bit of a longie, but I guess we'll just do the first sentence for now, for the stream and for myself. I vow my undying devotion to you, Satine, whose feathers of black and blue shimmer like the night sky adorned with stars. In the grand ballet of our love, I pledge my heart, my wings, and my eternal devotion. There's 2 other paragraphs, and I'll sort of just be repeating. This was sort of the main thing getting me through my days in the furnaces. The same sort of my oath, my devotion. Yeah. I'll be repeating that as I work away at it.
As you speak your oath and begin working away at the nest, we will come back to you to see how that goes. Ember, downstairs, you have been having a bit of a chat to Zerom. You've taken some cuttings of plants. You've collected a sample of moss, which you have identified is likely going to be poisonous to creatures like a Behir. You've collected a sample of that. You've also collected a sample of a Susa tree, the roots of the large Susa tree in the valley beyond having penetrated through the rock and stone, and a small sprout having come up just at the very edge of the garden, which you've snipped and harvested and put away carefully. At this point, as you look back towards Zerom, who sort of looking in the distance, watching Threign as Threign wanders off into the darkness looking for something to hit. I think Threign said he was going to go take out the last of the Gricks and just basically deal with that problem for future people who might come through. You hear the sound of footsteps rushing down the stairs of the tower behind you. And as you turn, you watch as the tower door slams open and you see Sylvie striding out. The only reason you know it's Sylvie is because you can see her form shifting and changing as she approaches you, growing in size, her ears pulling into these sharp points, 3 sets of horns forming a crown around her head, this very masculine-looking face taking over from her rather more androgynous features, and the eyes glowing in this dark red hue as she stands above you. What are you doing to my garden?
Just checking out what you have. It looks like a lovely garden here. You do quite well considering there's, no sunlight.
She sort of freezes for a second, and then you watch as the grey skin of this form she's taken on suddenly blushes with this light pink. She goes, "Oh, thank you. I was just making sure you weren't fucking with it, but actually, it looks really good. Sorry about that." And you watch as she slowly begins to transform back into a much more chilled out form. It's just your friends upstairs mentioned that you and the Goliath were down here in the garden and no one was watching what you were up to, and I just had these images flash through my mind of those big boots just stomping through the yard, and but your rabbit friend mentioned you were a druid, and that did calm me down somewhat, but I just wanted to double check that you weren't up to any mischief down here.
Oh no, that's okay. And let's be honest, the big giant, he's out there. He's not going anywhere near your garden. And Harry, I mean, you're not going to let a rabbit loose in your garden, are you? I mean,
Well, I mean, after what happened when I gave him herbs to try and heal him, I think we might just. Oh, he's fine. He's fine. He's fine.
oh, did something happen that you weren't expecting?
There might have been some reaction with the magic. I don't know what it was. The thing. If you hang on, if you got one, and she sort of reaches down for your hand, trying to take a look at it, if you let her.
I could. Well, knowing that I got the gem in one hand, I'll reach out the other hand and see what.
She like
if she
grabs
just
the hand,
looks
looks at it, and goes. And the other? Have you got one of the gemstones as well? The weird giant tech things that Harry mentioned?
Oh, I mean, if that's what we think it is, I mean, I'm more interested in the garden than what I am into giant tech. I'll be honest.
Oh, okay. No, that's good. Can I try something? I promise. I don't think it'll hurt.
Considering that she came out very aggressive, I might just do an insight check just to see if I
That's
trust what she's doing. Yep.
That's fair.
That is a 14.
Ember, you get the sense when she said she doesn't think it's gonna hurt. She's not lying. You don't get the sense though that she knows, so it's hard to lie.
Going by that, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm quite trustworthy as a character. I'd probably hesitate for a second and then slowly reach my hand out.
It's okay. Your friend Harry reacted strangely to healing magic because of the gemstone in his hand. I'm just gonna. And as she holds up her index finger, you watch as a large claw takes the place of her fingernail, and then she quickly scratches across your other palm, the palm of your other hand, creating a gash, dealing 1 point of damage to your hand. She then immediately grabs it and then tries to heal it, and then watches your hand with the gemstone to see if anything happens. As she casts Cure Wounds, nothing happens. There is no reaction of your gemstone. There's no change that occurs. As she looks as the cut on your hand that she created reknits itself and heals, she shakes her head and goes, "No, yours isn't reacting. It was more powerful healing magic that I used on Harry, but there's no reaction at all. It's really weird."
No, I mean, can you describe kind of what happened just prior to it occurring?
Well, his soul was separated from his body. I gave him some relaxants, gave him some herbs to open up his body to change, and then I tried to use the magic, the restoration, and then his gemstone just started flashing and glowing, and then his hand it's metal now. Most of it's metal. Some of it's metal now.
Okay, so
But that didn't happen to you.
No, but
I mean, it might have.
That you're talking about. You say that he gave him herbs that so it could open him up to certain magic for healing.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if those kinds of herbs would open him up to other magic maybe coming from the gemstone itself.
Of course. Yes. And you watch as she transforms into a much more lizard-like appearance, her head sort of pushing out into this elongated gecko snout as she scrambles along the ground towards the garden and then picks a few herbs, then rushes back, grinds them between her fingers as her body takes on a much more satyr-like appearance, and then she holds out and goes, "Could you eat these? I'm just going to try it again. Could you just eat these herbs and let's see what happens?"
Oh, I'm sorry, Sylvia. I don't know if it's something that I should be really experimenting with right now, but I mean...
I'll have some too.
Oh, I mean, you also don't have giant tech.
You've got a trip sitter.
Yeah.
I was thinking I could be the control.
Oh, I mean, if... Oh, look, let's put a pin in this for the moment. I think we should maybe do a bit more research. I mean, you have so much access to information here. Maybe we should...
Oh, but
maybe
Tetar's
while
going to
we're
want to talk about boring stuff. Let's just do it. Let's see what happens. Come on, let's get a little crazy.
Oh, so...
What's the worst that could happen? Harry's fine. If anything, I think he's happier now. He did a little dance as I left.
I would have to... I do trust you, but I would have to check with Harry myself before I make any of these big decisions.
Yeah, that's fair.
But in saying that, I kind of wonder... So, I have the gemstone.
Yeah.
And I have my lovely little friend here, Flicker. Now he is, I mean, depending on how you would look at it, is he an extension of myself, I wonder? Would it be something that if he had and he was healed, maybe there'd be maybe it would be reflected in him?
Is he like a familiar? I don't know how. I don't know how he works. He looks like he's made of fire.
Look, to be dead honest with you, I'm not very big into magic myself. I don't know how he works. I just he hangs around, and every now and then, if I really want him to, he can help me out in battle.
I rub my ball and he appears. So is that how it works?
Exactly right.
That's not right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pokemon trainer.
Yeah.
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 Let's try it. Let's try it. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm gonna turn to Flicker and be like, thumbs up. And
here comes the locomotive.
Yeah, exactly right. So I suppose I'm gonna have to I'll use one of the summons for him.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Let's see.
As she holds out the herbs to Flicker, Flicker goes to eat them, and instead of eating them, they just burn up immediately inside of Flicker. Flicker's body is made of flame. Flicker's like a spirit of fire. As Flicker tries to eat the herbs, it just sort of dissolves into ash inside of his body. She immediately tries to cast healing magic on Flicker. As the magic washes over Flicker, Flicker sort of looks around, scratches at his ear, and then nuzzles you.
I don't think this is going to work, unfortunately, and I don't feel like making myself a guinea pig in this situation. I think the best thing to do is maybe we need to do this research first, and then we can come back and discuss.
What is it with people wanting to check things safe first? There's no fun in that. This is why I'm into botany. Botany's the most dangerous of all the sciences.
Well, thinking of that, in this garden here, what would you say is the most dangerous thing you have, just out of interest?
She slowly looks around, and then you watch as she pauses, and a mischievous grin plays across her face, and she points at herself.
No, in the herb garden, Sylvia. Something that, I can trade you. I haven't got much at the moment. I have a couple of mushrooms. I got some apple seeds. I don't know if that's going to help you.
Oh,
down here.
You've got apple seeds.
Oh yes, no, I do. Long story. I helped out a giant turtle. Don't need to go into it. But
no. Apple seeds are great. Apple seeds are brilliant. Yes, absolutely. Apple seeds are. I don't know what you know about Underdark flora, but there's magic I can do with those seeds to make them to. Yes. I would like to trade for your apple seeds. They're alive.
Okay.
They're good. They're not.
Yeah,
like,
no.
they're not dried for
them...
eating. They're like.
No. I've kept them so that they can be planted again. So my aim is to collect lots of different plants from lots of areas. So.
Oh, yay! We're the same. Do you know what? Do you know what we're sailing right now? This is a friendship. She nods and slowly begins to transform into a version of you, Ember. She takes on much more Firbolg-like appearances, looking very much like a mirror reflection of you. It's like looking at yourself, but reflected the opposite way as she looks at you. And then you watch as she slowly causes the hair to bleed through into white as it trails around the beard. And then as the beard slowly sinks back in, she takes on a bit more of a feminine appearance. She looks at you and sort of sways her shoulders a bit and goes, "So what things are you interested in from the garden?"
Well,
you said the most poisonous thing. No, you said the most dangerous thing.
Well, if you were to pick something in this garden, maybe most dangerous or the most what to you do you think is the most special thing that you have down here?
Special? Okay, special's different to dangerous. Dangerous is tricky, right? Because some things that are harmless to us are very harmful to others. Some things that are harmful to others harmless to others are very harmful for us. The poisons I have here, you got to understand, I've got a wide array of plants that can cause incredible effects in a wide range of creatures. The most dangerous? How much do you know about black snapdragons? I would love a nature check, Ember. Definitely a nature check.
11. Maybe a little bit more than the average, but
11.
Not too much.
Unfortunately, 11. This is a very rare type of poison. You have no idea what she's talking about. So, to your knowledge, a snapdragon is a type of flower that is not poisonous at all.
Okay, no, it's not something I'm familiar with. Not particularly as a poison, anyway.
I'm not surprised. It's not something the Druids would teach, I suspect. So, long ago, the story goes that there was this lich, right, who wanted to be able to create toxins and poisons to help preserve his undead constructs, his undead creatures that he was creating. A sort of like a preservative, if you will, that freezes the decay of flesh, keeps it intact. Well, the easiest thing to do, right, is to use magic to help create something sustainable, a plant, if you will, that could produce that toxin in high numbers, and hence the black snapdragon was born. This thing literally mummifies the person who imbibes it, who drinks it or gets it in. It slowly converts. It kills, but preserves tissue, turns it into almost like a leather-like substance. It is insanely dangerous. Do you want to come have a look?
Oh, yeah, I would love to have a look.
Holy shit.
Zerom at this point is kind of like looking out, still looking for Threign. As you kind of turn and walk away, he sort of gives you a nod and then looks back over in the direction Threign had wanted. Sylvie leads you around the back of the tower. You watch as she waves her hands, and what looked like a shed, the illusion vanishes. This shed just dissolves away into nothingness, revealing a planter box surrounded by a glass cage, a single crystal embedded in the ceiling glowing with a soft yellow light. As she gestures you in and gets you across the boundary, she waves her hands again, and the illusion recreates itself around you. Can't be too careful. The others upstairs, there's some things that I grow and I've been cultivating here that they wouldn't approve of. And let me tell you, it's very hard to keep thoughts out of Albus's range. So what I need you to do is, whenever you're around Albus, don't think about this.
Oh, say no more. I'm very good at distracting myself with lots of other things.
Great. If you're struggling, there's a potion I can give you that will wipe out the last hour of your memory. Maybe a bit more. Mostly an hour.
Oh, yeah, I'll hold on to it, and if I feel like I'm under some pressure, I might...
It'll take me a day or two to brew, but if you need it, you let me know.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Great.
Observe. And as she waves her hands over the garden, you can see only 9 plots here. The square planter box is being divided into 9 perfect plots. The closest one to you in the very center, so the middle left, let's say, if you were facing it front on middle front, is a single black flower rising from the dirt. The leaves are this sort of almost like a grayish purple color. The stalk has these divots in it, sections where it's almost been pinched in, creating this almost perforated appearance to the plant. And as she slowly reaches over, she reaches up very gently and tips the flower just a touch, and you watch as a single drop of black liquid falls out of the center of the flower and then slowly drops towards the dirt. As it does so and hits the dirt, there's a tss, and a little bit of smoke rises up.
That's fascinating. I've never seen something like this before.
Yeah, I had to kill a couple of people to get this, so we keep this one on the down low.
Oh, secret is safe with me.
Yeah, they were bad people. They were trying to make undead zombies, like really powerful zombies to hurt people. I feel very justified in taking it off them.
No, I definitely don't want someone hanging around that's bringing people back the dead like that, do we?
No, exactly. So, I mean, what do you think? Pretty dangerous, right?
I am impressed. If that's something that I'd be able to take in exchange, that would be amazing.
Let's trade apple seeds for, let's say, a small vial of the nectar of the black snapdragon. You can't let it touch your skin. You can't breathe in the fumes that come off it. That's really bad. Don't do that. I had to change my lungs 4 times before I could get it out of my system. It's intense. Just be careful with it. Don't drink it, obviously.
No, certainly. Is there any way that I can take something that I can graft from it? Is there anything that I can take like that? Or,
unfortunately, it doesn't survive clippings. Trust me, I've tried to propagate this baby a number of different times. She's single specimen, unfortunately, and I can't trade you the flower, but I can trade you a vial of the nectar.
Okay, no, that's perfectly fine. I will take that vial.
Done. Come upstairs to the workshop. I'll get it for you. trust me, you don't want the fresh nectar. It needs to be distilled and needs to be processed a bit. The fresh nectar is nasty stuff. Let's head upstairs and we get you the good one.
Fantastic. Let's head up.
Brilliant. Perfect. With that, she leads you upstairs towards the floor where Harry and Niles are currently hanging out. Harry and Niles. Matt, welcome back. Niles is currently just keeping an eye on Harry. What you missed, Harry is feeling great, went to stand up and do a dance, got a natural 1, immediately kind of like tipped over because he didn't have much feeling in his legs after the soporific, the drug that Sylvie gave him to knock him out.
I'm also imagining your balance too. I don't know if your metal arms would weigh more than your other arm.
It's not too much different. It's only the hand at the moment, and it's a small section of it. But you did an insight check. You were able to tell pretty quickly with a 16 that Harry, while like he's trying to put on an air of being really cool about this. Harry, how are you really feeling inside?
Harry's always cool.
Harry's always cool.
Yeah.
Ice cold.
Harry at this point, being a Harrengon, like they grew up in litters, they're pretty much like, it's they kind of treat themselves as semi-disposable. So Harry's just kind of like going along with the punches, and
that's interesting. So you don't.
This is less creepy than Figment.
Right. That's interesting. So it's safe to assume that Harry, like, you don't have like a general great sense of like I don't know. Are you? I don't know. That's an interesting thing, right? So
I feel like they're raised being like, you do your best, but like
life is short. Live it while you can.
Yeah.
What is the typical lifespan of a Harrengon? I think it's only like 20 years. Let's have a quick look. I don't think it's very much from memory. I was so wrong. Harrengon can live up to 100 years. I was way off.
Oh wow.
I was way off.
So I guess your sense of self-preservation is like quite low in that case.
It's like danger, run, fight, but like it's part of the circle. It's part of just what happens. Cool. Like a lot of Harrengons find themselves as mercenaries. I mentioned just because.
Yes. Like, do you I guess do you have like would you have like a general? I mean, I don't know. This is very meta of us at the moment. But it's interesting. Anyway, that's cool.
I think because I mentioned the Harrengon home area with the speed that they breed, like resources are scarce, so Harrengons have to leave and like just move, like be independent.
We're all poor because we fuck too much.
Exactly. There's not enough carrots for all of us.
So, I watched Zootopia once. I know how that goes.
So the Harrengons, the Harrengon that we have in Nostea are mostly kind of found around the southern isles of the Obsidian Isles. So where the Satyrs are, where a lot of the Leonin live as well. It's not that it's a potentially. It's not like it's specifically like Harrengon are dying in large numbers there. It's more that Harrengon that came across. There was never a large population that came through from the Feywild, and so they've always been kind of a smaller group anyway. I think it's a good explanation that maybe there's a sense of Harrengon should be mercenaries wherever possible, and so that's kind of like, maybe that's how the population's controlled. They're sent off to go and like adventure and inevitably perish as a part of that journey. I'm happy to have that as
lemming-esque way of going about life, but that's cool.
I'm happy to have that as
like all the Harrengon will come back and retire.
Yeah. That's very cool.
Look, the other thing we can do as well, we can change how long Harrengon normally live. Like the Harrengon living up to a century is from the.
I think that's fine.
In sequel, Harry will still be around.
Of course you do.
we can easily change how long they live for. Like we've it's a homebrew world.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Like an old Harrengon is not someone you want to fuck with because they've survived all of these encounters, right?
Yes. Okay, I actually really like that. Yeah. It's so people think they only live to 20, but that's not true. They can live much longer. It's just in the wild they often don't.
They're the ones you have to worry about.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay.
Sick.
Anyway,
So it's more like you make the most of what you got. You go out there and you be resourceful. So like, Harry's got a patron. Like,
cool.
that's just something he has now, you know. And he's like a bit of an ADHD bunny and just
Got his sugar
goes along
daddy.
with it.
He's got his magic daddy. He's good.
Yeah, so I imagine all of this has happened. You're on this table, I'm assuming, or maybe you're standing up right now.
You've sat him back.
I'm just sitting down.
You sat him back down just because he almost fainted when he stood up the last time with that natural one for his performance.
Yeah. So Niles is just gonna kind of look him up and down again, really take him in, and just go, "What's going on, Harry? Do you know what's going on with your little hand there, or paw, I'd say? What's?"
Well, it's a funny story actually.
Oh, I bet. Please continue.
Yeah. At first, I thought it was a figment of my imagination, but when I got a bit of a, you remember that time I got hit in the head and I had a bit of a brain injury.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, just a small one. It was minor.
Yeah.
I ended up just processing some stuff and it seems the Hearthstone might have like helped me survive it a bit, I think. So
I'm definitely insight checking this because I am not convinced.
Yeah, that's fair.
Cool. It's only a 9.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to say at the moment what's going through Harry's head.
Yeah.
You do get the sense that there's more he's not sharing, but that's Harry. He like, there's always that sense of there's more that he's not sharing. So
I think back a little bit, and I'm like, but it wouldn't happen to have anything to do with those powers you were using back in the combat against the Shadow Blades. You were casting some sort of magic with your hand. That was a bit new. I haven't seen you do that before.
I will say, Niles, you saw this green blast of magic energy from Harry's hands, and his gemstone is currently glowing this emerald green color, whereas the rest of you, all of you, it's a dark gemstone, very softly glowing blue.
It was a green blast, I think. I looked down at the hand. That's a bit interesting. Is that something that the stone can grasp, or something else?
Well, yeah, like I say, when I got a bit of brain injury, I'm not sure what happened, but maybe I accessed the part of the headstone that I probably shouldn't have, or something, because it's about when it started happening. Yeah. Maybe I'm just learning how to use it a bit more.
Okay, sure.
He definitely doesn't speak to me or anything.
Why would you say that? Unless it was.
Because sometimes we have dreams and things that speak to us, right? Like we experienced it.
That is a good point. We have had some strange occurrences with the crystal.
Yeah, so like we didn't actually know anything about it. It might be good to, when we go to the make our way to the stone giants, to maybe see if we can do a bit of sneaky research about it. In maybe there could be some place that powers the giant attack that might have more information about it.
Well, that is a good point, and hopefully we get that information easily. I mean, I don't think the stone giants in their current state of mind will be forthcoming with that, but
because I was thinking about it, right? If we wanted to like sabotage the stone giants operation, if we can cut the power of the technology they use, that could be a good way in.
Well, yes, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Granted,
something to consider when we get to it. Like Bart was a slave, right? And they'll have many other slaves, so we could free him by cutting the power and causing a bit of chaos.
Are you sure that it's power that they're using? You seem pretty sure of that. Have you had some sort of vision?
Well, no, like when the remember that time in endless fire, like
Oh yeah.
powered by a power thing, right?
How is it, Dave, that
Yeah.
out of the 2 characters you've played in the Lost Archives, both of them have ended up gaslighting so hard?
Yeah.
Just other players. I love it.
This isn't good.
Niles just kind of takes us on, kind of nods a little bit, and goes, "That is true. The Hill Giants did have that device that caused all the clockwork machines to turn on. It's a good, maybe an assumption there. It's
Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, no, I feel fine. This. I mean, like, it let me shoot pew lasers. It helped me break free when I was tied up. So it can't be a bad thing, right?
yes, can't be a bad thing.
Well,
Although your soul was detached from your body, and
was-
now it's not.
was-
And now you have some sort of metal hand. Just whatever's going on, maybe just share it with us. Let us know what's happening. We are a team after all. We are the Tempest Guild, and whatever is going on for the benefit of the team, it would be pertinent to draw that, to bring that to the forefront. I mean, we're all entitled to our secrets, sure, but if it affects the integrity of this team, then we've got a bit of an issue. But I can see that you're in control for now. Just if anything happens, just feel free to let us know.
Yeah, no. Yeah. We'll talk about more later after we free those help those gnomes in
Yes.
Thunderstone.
That is
You mean
correct. Now that
When
we're
we're
all...
gonna approach the giants, we can see where we're at.
We probably should reconvene and discuss our next plan of attack. The Behir is still at large, and can't let our gnome friends wait any more longer, I would imagine. Should we head down below?
Yeah. Wait, Niles. One more thing.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Okay. So something is strange happening with my elf. Like it is weird.
I thought so. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I think you had me convinced there for a bit, but I wasn't. Okay. What's
So,
okay? Something strange.
just in case you even worried whether it's me or not. Yeah. I want to give a keyword. So
Oh,
the keyword is purple rabbit.
purple rabbit.
Yeah.
Keyword. I like that.
Yeah.
I use key to power my fists. Ho.
Yeah, I use key to power my winds.
Ooh.
But just in case, if you're ever not sure if it's me or not, we'll use that code word.
Excellent. Well,
Yeah.
I will keep that in mind. Thank you, Harry.
Okay. Yeah, no worries.
Should we go down and you think you're up to walking? That was
Yeah,
quite a
up to
performance you did there.
Have we actually come up to
Yeah.
this room?
As Niles says,
Yeah.
we're gonna head down. That's as you open the door, Niles, to head into the staircase. You literally face into Ember's chest. As Ember's going to open the door as well.
Hello there.
Hi, I've come up with Sylvie. We were going to come and check on
Oh.
Harry, and I was going to collect some things. No need to worry
Well,
about that.
that's
Harry, how are we?
Hey, good. We were worried that Sylvie was gonna hurt you.
Oh, me? No, why would you do that?
No, we're good friends. We get along great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, told you, he's a druid. He's all right.
Now, apple seeds, and then she reaches over, pulls out a vial, deadly poison, and then holds it out to you, Ember.
What?
Yeah, but I didn't know you were a merchant too.
Oh, I dabble,
I dabble.
but it's when it comes to plans, I'm always happy to see what wares you have, Harry. Thinking of seeing things, I'm not going to make us go through the whole rigmarole of checking
metal
your hand.
hands. Yeah.
One thing I would like to do though is, because I'm trying to check out what's Harry's hand, would you be against me just grabbing your hand while I check it out, Harry? Or
Yeah, it's a paw, but sure, everyone keeps calling you hand. Yeah,
Technically, Harry, as
It's a
you have an
hand.
opposable
It's a
thumb,
hand.
it is a hand. So,
so
yeah. Very considered a paw.
I want to cast. I want to use my Firbolg magic and cast detect magic. I just
oh
want to
yes,
see.
yes.
So looking at that, depending on how it works, because
Yeah.
I've only cast it a couple of times. Looking specifically, I know it lasts for a while, but looking specifically at the gem, what kind of aura is coming off that, and then also what it's coming off Harry's paw/hand, and maybe how far up that does track up his arm, if at all.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Absolutely. As you use your Firbolg magic, so ways that you can do detect magic, for Harry's wand, for example, when he activates the wand, his eyes glow and he can see magical things. How would you like it to be for Ember with his Firbolg magic? How would detect magic look to Ember?
Look, it
could be anything you
trying to
want.
think
We can flavor this however we want. If you want to go for glowing eyes, you totally can. If it's more like you feel this pulse, almost like an echolocation pulse coming out from you that pings up items with magic and makes them glow that you can then see. You can do that too, however you want to do it.
I feel like my eyes might change slightly, so they might go, I don't know, just plain white or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
So that way,
Cool. Yeah. Like a seer, as they like the iris and pupil just vanish into this misty white. So you sort of like open your eyes and look around.
Sick.
which also helps because I don't know if then people would know where I'm actually looking. If that
true.
makes sense.
That's true.
That's cool.
So, for the duration, which is 10 minutes, you can sense the presence of magic within 30 feet, and you can see a faint aura that bears the magic, and you learn its school of magic, if any. Yeah. Harry's hand, where the gemstone is glowing. In fact, all of your gemstones are. Ember, as you look down at your hand and look at Niles as a way of like confirming and checking, all of your hands are glowing with faint magic. The difference, however, is how strong the glow is from Harry's. The magic coming off your gemstones at the moment appears to be, very faint. You know that these items are clearly very, very powerful, but you get the sense that the magic that they give off is dependent on whether they've been activated or not. And it looks like yours are inactive currently, because you imagine an item that is powerful enough to link up your consciousness and share these images clearly must have a much more powerful magic than what you're seeing with this aura. It seems very faint, but mostly the aura that it's giving off is this very, very faint illusion magic. Harry's, however, is almost no illusion magic at all. It is incredibly powerful. As you look across, his hand is almost glowing white hot with two different schools of magic, very, very obviously. Transmutation and evocation magic are both being very, very strongly put off by this. Transmutation and abjuration are the two that are being very, very powerfully put off by this gemstone. More than that, as you look at it, you can see these veins of power, not just around the hand, but running up Harry's entire arm, up towards the shoulder, where the magic seems to sort of like fizzle out a little bit.
Okay, so it hasn't breached any further. Harry, this is going to maybe sound a little bit odd, but just work with me here.
Yeah, we've seen some pretty odd things, so yeah, that's fine. What's up?
I've got a vial that's tucked into my boot. Do you mind just grabbing it out with that hand for me? I just want to check something. Sounds odd, but if you could indulge me.
Yeah, sure. I'll do that for you. Harry bends over and gets the vial.
So that's the vial that has the sprout with the susu plant.
The Susa plant, yeah.
Oh yeah. As he picks it up,
Harry, which hand do you pick it up with?
I'd be asking deliberately.
I'll give my mechanical. Yeah.
As soon as Harry grabs it, as soon as Harry grabs it, the glow on Harry's hand slowly begins to fade to a much duller, much more similar to your hands. This very faint sort of soft glow, and you watch as that aura of transmutation immediately is gone. The veins of energy running up his arms slowly begin to almost retract and retreat, and then slowly begin to fade away until it's just Harry holding the vial. Harry,
my arm look?
As that happens, you immediately lose all sensation in that area of metal, and that tingling, that intense pins and needles you felt when you first woke up returns. And there's this strange, almost like foreign body sensation in your hand. It feels like there's something rubbing against your skin and against your flesh.
Oh, that's
sorry.
Not fun.
This doesn't feel right. My arm. I can't feel my arm. Can Harry move his fingers? Is that?
As you go to move your fingers, they do not move. In fact, as you look at your fingers, you can see that they're slowly starting to turn a bit pale.
Rockly ankle weights just on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
How heavy is the arm now? Is the arm heavier?
It definitely feels heavier. Yeah. You can feel this
did
weight in the hand, in the wrist.
Did your arm look like the mechanical arm's hand still? Sorry, or has it reverted back? Ah.
So the physical change is permanent. It's just this magical, almost like the engine is what's been turned off.
Yes.
Exactly.
Holy that's terrifying.
I'm Iron Rabbit. There's something wrong here. There's something wrong.
I am Iron Rabbit.
As soon as I see that and you say something was wrong, I'll pull the vial back out your hand and tuck it back into my shoe.
Harry, immediately, sensation returns, your fingers feel normal, you can see the colour flowing back into them. Ember, you watch as those veins of energy begin to move back up the shoulder again.
Fuck.
My hand, it didn't feel like mine anymore, and I could feel the extra weight, and it felt like what it looks like you guys think it might feel like.
I think, Harry, we might have to definitely talk to someone about this, because whatever it is, it looks like it's slowly taking over parts of you. I can't see it anywhere. I mean, I'm looking at Harry now. I can see, obviously, up his arm. I can't see... I mean, I know he's got a knock to the head and things like that. I'm not seeing anything else magical on Harry.
No, I don't think so. I don't think you've got any magic items, do you, Harry?
From his items.
My wand.
Oh, yeah, the wand glows as well, yeah.
If you're going to use the magic thing, I've been wanting to get these goggles checked out. I pull out some mysterious goggles from my bag of holding.
Let me quickly pull open the information on the mysterious goggles.
I've had these for days.
You've had these for a while.
The worst part is, unlike Identify, you're not going to learn much other than they're magical.
Yeah, well...
And what kind of magic they are, yeah.
That's fine. I've got mates downstairs who might be able to figure it out.
I've got to figure out which school of magic these would fall under. As you look at, yes, they are magical, clearly. You can see that they're like crystalline lenses, and maybe divination magic kind of falls under. A little bit of divination magic. Hard to say for sure, though. It's an enchantment. The item, they are magically enchanted with a little bit of divination magic.
Mysterious and magical goggles. There we go.
Just put them on, Matt. Just put them on. We'll see what happens.
Oh, Simon, just while we're on magic items, just quickly, where's the cloak?
I'm wearing it. Yeah.
Oh, wearing it?
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I think, I can't remember if it was actually told what it was. I know what it does now, because obviously I've attuned to it.
Yeah.
But,
you've got it in your inventory, I think.
Yeah.
Actually, on that note, Bartholomew, you will find your Dawnblade is also now updated and correct in your inventory as well.
Lovely.
I might actually, if I know that what was it, like enchanted or divination? Which one was it?
Divination. It's an enchanted item that has been enchanted with some form of divination magic, let's say.
Now in a moment of excitement, we'll probably try them on.
Sick.
Niles, divination, you say?
Niles, as you place the goggles over your eyes, it's almost like everything around you it's almost like it's more in focus. Your vision, already extremely acute, seems even more attuned. It's almost like everything is suddenly in high definition. The contrast is perfectly balanced with the saturation. You can see perfectly in the immediate area. While you wear these, you have advantage on investigation checks.
Oh, fuck yeah. I love that.
They require no attunement.
Incredible.
These are eyes of minute seeing. Or minute seeing, depending on how you want to pronounce it. I've seen both argued. I think it probably falls under minute seeing, but I've heard people say, well, but it's almost like you're seeing everything in a brief moment. I'm like, okay, fair. I always thought it was minute seeing, though.
That's
you
amazing.
get that fine detail. You have eyes of minute seeing.
Very cool. I look at them and see the high definition. I go, whoa, wow, and then I just kind of like pull them off and like I kind of have them like around my neck now.
You can see like a little bit of breakfast still in Ember's beard that you hadn't noticed before. Just a tiny few crumbs of elvish bread. Ember's yeah.
That's
sick. Yeah, cool. I took them on.
Sorry, go.
I was gonna say, the first time I'm in this room, is there anything else that while I'm standing there that is just like glowing, like it's a beacon in the room that it would be drawing my attention as well.
Oh shit, yeah. Yeah. As you look around the room, there's a number of vials that clearly contain potions that Sylvie is working on, all glowing with various types of magic. I would say most of them seem to be showing... what would it be? Most of them they'd mostly be showing... school would it fall under? I guess transmutation. Most of them would fall under the transmutation school. Some of them falling under necromancy as well. But these are all potions that have various effects on humans and humanoid creatures. So they're all going to be variations of either helpful or harmful potions that you can see around you.
Great. Cool. Okay. I'm not in the mood to steal anything right now, but
it's good to know.
Yep.
Did you want to? Did you want to add the black snapdragon poison to your inventory if you haven't done so already? And you may remove the apple seeds from your inventory. Good trade.
No
I love that you've been carrying around
problem.
apple seeds since Mauler.
Well,
Just
the other thing I was going to
carrying
ask you
around.
about that I should have mentioned it ages ago, but I was also planning on collecting sand. It sounds really dumb, but like from where I was at the Turtle, where we were at the beach with the other thing, and it's later on. But
you would have had a chance to pick up a bag of sand from the Kuatoa village. If you need a bag of sand, you can see that Sylvie has bags of sand that she uses for helping like weigh items as control items, and she's got. You could just ask her.
Specific areas.
Just go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Are
Want
you
it from a
gonna get
few
one of
different
those big-
spots.
Are you gonna get one of those big glass jars and do all the different sands like on top of each other? And
Well, probably part of my character kind of stuff, but I do the glass blowing thing, and I think the way that I was tying it back into the Pokemon thing was I was planning on taking sand from different areas to make myself essentially a collection, might be a lead light or something like that.
I wondered if you were going to make like the
represent
flutes.
journey.
You know how they use the ash to make the different flutes in? Is that Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald, where you make the different flutes out of the different ash, the ash that you pick up from the different? I think it is. Yeah.
I mean, I thought you were gonna give the soft sand that flicker. So ground type moves, but
But he's fire type. Yeah.
so
That's nice.
Cool. No, I don't think there's any other items as well that we need to check out. Lyra doesn't have anything, as far as I'm aware, that we don't need to check.
Oh, but by the way,
Character sheet really
Bart
quickly.
and Lyra, okay? Are they coming, or should we? Meet them?
Ember,
I thought
you
Bart
walked
was
past her
here.
talking to Tetarch downstairs. They seem to be very interested in the fragments of mural. They were chatting away very happily about all sorts of stuff.
maybe we
Really
should,
like high concept stuff, talking about like these like space stations or something like that. Really weird shit they were talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe we should head down and see if they're done. We can discuss what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, just super quickly, are these magical? Harry has a strange compass,
Yes,
a
Harry.
black
Yes.
candle,
Oh,
a strange chime, and
Yeah.
a strange jug.
Yes. Let me pull open the Black Candle, Strange Chime, and Strange Jug. The
I don't remember
Strange
that.
Compass
Where's
is
it from?
definitely enchanted. Weirdly enough, this is the first time you've pulled it out since you first got it, Harry. The Strange Compass is spinning. It's never done this before. Last time it was pointing in a single direction. It now seems to be spinning in place. Just constantly spinning around. The chime is glowing with, I'm going to say enchantment magic. School of Magic enchantment. The candle is giving off evocation. And the jug is giving off conjuration.
Were these the items that we got from Davian?
These are the items you got from the
I have a glowing tiger eye as well. Is that a rock? That's a
yes, yeah. The glowing tiger eye. I'm just going to give this for free. It just casts light. It just glows. As you look at it, Ember, it's just illusion magic. Just makes light.
Cool. Harry puts it somewhere that's more available to him.
Just like straps it as a third eye to his forehead and then starts looking.
Yeah,
around.
it's somewhere that's like not visible, but
Yeah.
like easily accessible.
Maybe
Yeah.
like up your sleeve, like a little pouch, and then that way, like you lift up your hand, you've got like a torch wherever you need, and you can quickly move your wrist down and hide it, almost like a hidden blade, but a hidden torch.
I look. I guess once Emma finishes this magic that he's casting, I just sort of chime in and go, "Oh, by the way, Emma, did I ever hear that you procured some sort of deadly poison from Sylvie? Is that what I heard when you walked in?"
Yeah, I mean, you would know, Niles. Anything can be deadly if it's used the wrong way.
Sylvie
Oh,
nods
that's true.
very emphatically at that. Yeah, it's just deadly. Deadly is a point of comparison, really.
I have no problems with it. I was just wondering if you wanted to put it in the bag of holding for safekeeping, and I wouldn't want anything to break or any sort of for you to lose it.
Oh no, I think I can keep it quite safe. Oh, put it in my bag, and it's going to be gathered with all my other little herbs and everything.
I've got a good question, Niles. I mean, you've seen Ember hand this almost like a small jar with soil and a small sprouting blue-leafed, white-barked sapling in it. And that's what caused Harry's hand to have a weird reaction.
Yeah.
What would happen if you put that in the bag of holding?
Oh no.
Has anyone ever asked that question? What would happen if you put a Sousa flower in a bag of holding?
Yeah, part of the reason why...
Yeah.
This has to be something that's come up in D&D before.
I imagine, wouldn't it just close the portal off, essentially? The pocket dimension? Wouldn't it just...
Forever?
A simple idea is something that existed way before Baldur's Gate and Sussurbark was dispel magic. What happens if you dispel a bag of holding?
Yeah.
It's a lot of interesting questions that are coming up. Yeah.
No. I think I'll be fine, Nars. I can hold on to it myself. I have plans.
Oh, okay. So according to Roll20, the interdimensional portal is temporarily closed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Not D&D, this Roll20, but it makes sense.
Look, that makes sense. I was going to say, you wouldn't be able to put it in, because as soon as it comes close to the mouth of the bag of holding, it wouldn't connect to the interdimensional plane anymore. So you could never put it in the bag of holding, because it would never be able to get close enough with the magic intact. So that was how I was going to kind of rule it, in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, at least it's not exploding and having all of the contents fly everywhere. That would be...
He opens a portal to Hadar.
Yeah, cool. Sweet. Oh, and maybe keep that bark away from the bag. I say.
Oh, that's why I'm going to keep it tucked down there.
Very good.
In the hand. Keep it away from my hand as well.
Well, I mean, don't try and steal it out of my shoe or anything like that, Harry. We know that you have sticky fingers sometimes.
Well, you
I don't know what you're talking about.
As Harry lifts a vial from the cupboard and quickly puts it in his pocket.
Okay.
Upstairs, Bartholomew, you have finished assembling your necklace. As you fold the last piece of wire over, creating this very, very beautifully formed, almost like a wire cage, but in this very delicate, flowing, very organic-looking bird's nest structure. The 3 gemstones that you've found, you've actually managed to kind of shape a little bit as well. Polish them with the tools that are there to make them resemble a bit more egg-like structures. And as you've nestled them into the wire cage, you actually managed to find a bit of solder that was in amongst Tetarch's stuff, allowing you to kind of make a little, almost like a metal hold at the back of each of the gemstones, just to give it a bit more structure and security inside this metal cage. Stop them sort of jangling around and bumping into each other.
Yeah.
And as you finish your oath and finish this necklace, you watch as the gemstones all flash. First this brilliant blue, and then this almost midnight black before returning to their original colors. If you would like to use this as your new holy symbol, this can now be your spellcasting focus and will act as your new holy symbol.
100%.
It is the physical manifestation of your oath to Satine and to your Paladin class, as you tie the leather around your neck and let it sort of sit comfortably in amongst your feathers. There's a feeling of warmth, a feeling of completeness once again, and a feeling of connection. Almost that sensation that Satine is in the room with you, just for a moment. Like you can almost feel her presence next to you.
Disney moment of both looking out windows towards the moon.
That's super cute.
Yeah, I'm gonna... definitely a heavy sigh of the fact that she's not really there. And for the briefest moment, because I know that it went through Christian's mind, so Bartholomew was just going to have a brief moment of insecurity and mainly just a physical insecurity of still sort of lacking wings and grateful that Satine isn't really here. just that small flash that I really need to find some way to get them back. Like the Tempest Guild really does feel like a way for me to get to the surface. With everything that's been happening, it almost feels like fate is pointing towards the Aeris capital and the Aeris Theocracy. I've got so many questions to go there now. Like, it's almost anxiety-inducing that I'm about to see her what feels like really soon, even though it may not be that case, and I'm still not fixed. So I think I'll probably, even though like this little Disney moment of feeling her and seeing her there, I'll turn away from it.
Yeah. As you do, you hear the sounds of conversation coming from downstairs. You can hear Niles, Ember, Harry, and Sylvie all chatting quite excitedly amongst themselves. And as you make your way down the stairs, timelines converge and we catch up with everyone all at the same time. You watch as Bartholomew... Oh yeah, go.
I was about to say, as I get to the room, with everyone sort of like around the... Were they at the table? Is that where we are?
Yeah, I think
right
Harry's now standing up and looking around the room, looking a bit more complete, let's say.
Okay, I'll ask, I guess, like Sylvie. I was meant to ask Albus this. I can go back down. He's got the library down there. Actually, all of us could probably help with this because we do need to get moving soon. Did we want to migrate this party to Albus's library, and maybe see if we can find some sort of education on Behir's?
I think that would be a good idea.
It's a big reason.
Yeah, party.
I wanted to come here, and instead, we haven't got around to it yet.
Perfect.
I think if we can talk about what we're going to do with next steps, a plan of attack, I think that would be wise. I think Threign, we'll let Threign do his thing outside. That's fine. He'll go with whatever we decide.
Okay.
Perfect. As you guys make your way downstairs, you can see Albus is still in his study. Looks like he's currently putting some books away and reorganizing the shelves. And as you all walk back in, you watch as he sort of slowly turns around in midair, lowers a little bit so his feet are just above the floor, nods and goes, "Welcome once again. You return to my library. Knowledge that you seek, I hope you will find here.
We're bringing the party to you.
Greetings, everyone.
Hello.
I met you, Niles and Bartholomew, before, but Ember and Harry, it is good to meet you face to face. I have heard your thoughts drifting up from below. It is nice to put a face to the mind that I could feel.
Oh, yeah, lovely to meet you too.
I am Albus. Welcome. Be not afraid of my appearance. I mean you no harm, you or your companions.
Oh, well, that's good to know, and I mean, hopefully you might be able to help us. I don't know if our friends have discussed the issue happening with the Sveniblen, but we're hoping to gain some information on a Behir.
Ah, yes. A rather dangerous foe to engage. Behirs are ancient creatures, resembling dragons, but sharing little with them apart from their appearance. They can create lightning, almost like a dragon's breath attack. It can arc from person to person, dealing horrible damage. But it does have to pause. It cannot unleash this power without end. And in those moments, your opportunity to strike may be found. The scales are quite resistant to most attacks, but if you were able to overcome those resistances, you could get through some heavy damage.
Elvis, do you know the contents of every book in this room?
I keep a large amount of knowledge stored within my mind. There is a technique to keep information organized clearly and succinctly inside one's own mind. It is sometimes called a mind palace. I call mine the vault.
Okay. Well, thank you for the information. Everyone, obviously we're not all here just yet, but I did have an idea to pose to all of you. We wanted to learn more about the ancient times. I put forward a while ago when we were traveling the idea of possibly trying to speak to an entity that would have been there that long ago. You all mentioned the Warforged that you've all met and that we saw in the visions as a possible point of interest. I've considered that obviously dragons also a very long-lived race, nearly immortal when it comes to age. Behir may not be a dragon per se. Albus, do you know the lifespan of a Behir? By chance?
Not off the top of my head or in my vault, but Avazandum's bestiary may provide the answers we need.
You watch as he floats up, reaches and pulls out a very large tome, which he lowers and places on the desk in front of you before opening.
Aboleth, Arcuet, Beholder, Behir. Here we are. Yes, Behirs can be quite long-lived indeed. I do not see any reference of a maximum age. It may be that this knowledge is not known, or that they do not pass away from age at all.
Okay, so here's my idea. But simple scaffolding at the moment at that.
This is interesting. In here it says that storm giants created the first Behir. That is interesting. I wonder if that is true.
Huh.
It's in the book. Why wouldn't it be true?
Well, Harry,
not everything in books needs to be true.
Sometimes it is our best guess, or the author has a motive, and the information they include is to make you think or act a certain way.
Exactly. Sometimes
Avazandum is often trustworthy, though sometimes he could get a bit carried away, embellish certain traits.
Why would the storm giants want to create a creature like that? It was terrifying.
Well, Albus was telling me about a long time ago a war between the gods.
Yes, but the giants were long gone when that happened. It was their vanishing and the fight for their territory, which I believe was one of the triggers for the ruin. This is curious.
Would explain the lightning breath.
Well, in either situation, all of these facts point towards either knowledge about what it may have of the God Wars, its knowledge of why it was created, if it remembers that, or even when the shield was placed up and the giants were closing themselves off to the world, at least what we've learnt so far.
I would take this with a grain of salt. Avazandum lived pre-ruin, but not long enough to be of... He wasn't around when the giants were. This could be his best guess. When you mentioned the lightning breath, maybe that's where the connection came from.
My thought process is just that this thing is long-lived. It would have been around during that time.
It very well could have.
Behir being dangerous, it wouldn't have been hiding under a rock. It may have been involved directly. I feel like this is a threat no matter what. Not even just to the Underdark, but the future of the Swiftnoblin and the Underdark. I'm on Threin's side in the fact that I think this needs to be slain. There's no way around that. But as much as I don't like deception, and that's more your forte, Mr. Pause, I feel like we should begin this with a conversation, learn what we can from it, if anything, pretend to submit, and then overthrow.
Behir are intelligent. You will need to be very persuasive.
I think me and Harry both have that covered with the honesty and the dishonesty.
I would like.
Basically, I'm the honest one.
I would like to add, he seemed pretty keen on eating me. I don't know how negotiations might fare. He might want to resume his meal. Just keep that in mind.
I understand. It's going to be... Obviously, we lose the entire side of surprise with this, but I just have this frustrating feeling that by killing it before we speak to it, there's not many creatures that were around back then. There's not many creatures that live longer than several hundred years.
Yeah, that is a good point.
This is a rare opportunity.
What would you want to know?
Well, I was thinking about asking this to a dragon or possibly the astral elves that I'd heard mentioned previously due to their proximity to the shield that was placed up. But I feel like there is some conspiracy when it comes to the giants. Anam being dead, but not dead. The shield being placed up to stop Hadar, but the rest of the race is blaming the giants and sending the giants away. Despite the fact that it seems like the giants were being pretty fucking pragmatic about the situation, if what we're guessing is true. Either something's amiss, something's being lied about, or there has been a rift in what we know is true. Stuff just isn't... It's just not adding up.
If we did return to the surface, I'm sure we could perhaps talk to the dragons and Chiari. If all else fails, they might know something. But yes. Actually, I do recall there was a wizard at the guild that they recently acquired. He wasn't there long, but I remember him being interesting of some note. I can't quite remember. Maybe we could talk to Mirror about it. I think he might have been looking into things related to what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, would be interesting then. Okay. Well, I'm not sure about the battle plan then. If this lightning breath of it is a limited amount use, then obviously we want to try to draw its eye when the battle is about to begin to someone who can take that hit, or maybe an illusion, possibly. Try to force out that burst and then launch the fight once the burst has been wasted.
We should probably keep our spacing quite composed and quite calculated. Elvis said that it seems to chain lightning. I don't want to get on the receiving end of one. Perhaps we could...
I feel like that might be a bit of hearsay, however, how we were also talking about books over-exaggerating things. The lightning didn't arc to you, did it?
It certainly got close. It didn't arc to me per se, but maybe if it struck me, it could have arced to someone else. I don't know. That's...
This is the kind of thing Avazandan was known to embellish, giving the size a bit exaggerated, or the attacks this very scary kind of approach. I mean, my understanding is he wanted to sell more books, and nothing sells a good book like a good monster. Probably it's much more similar to a dragon's lightning breath, or the magic that you can do with calling lightning, but it would not be a good idea to be standing close together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kabard hyping things up.
Exactly. He was... Funny you mentioned that. He was a bard.
Oh, okay. Could we borrow that book?
I'm sorry, this is one of a kind. There are very few copies left, and it is very precious to me.
That's fine. Understandable.
If there were any pages you would like copied, I could get to work and have them ready for you when you next passed this way.
No, that's okay. Maybe. Sorry, my mind's a miss at the moment.
You're interested in giants. Why don't I flick through, make a list of any possible connections between any of the creatures in the bestiary and the giants, and make some notations for you. When you next come through, I will have them ready.
I would also like to add if there's any other, we say monsters, beasts, but anything mechanical in nature as well. If you can draw a correlation to the giants, that would be interesting.
Ah, Mechanus's primer. Yes, I can have a flick through.
I only mention that because the giants seem to be dabbling with that sort of thing, and it could be good to see if there's any other mechanical beasts that we might come across in our travels. Yeah, we already have encountered a couple of clockwork ones.
I did want a private moment with Niles and Albus just for something with my personal life. But
I'm guessing
before...
the Aeris.
I did have one thing, Ember and Harry. After this, I guess both of you could probably try to find. I think Threign would be best to find at the moment. He's the combat mind. A fight with a dragon, he'd probably be best to organize some sort of a hunt when the conversation does eventually run dry. But Albus, you said you felt Ember's mind down in the garden. Obviously, it's what you do. Do you feel anything coming from his hand?
Ember's? No.
No. Sorry, no. Harry's.
Yes, of course. The mind that resides there? Yes. Why do you ask?
Sorry, a mind residing in Harry's hand?
Not in his hand, but the gemstone there. I sense a mind, of course.
What's it thinking? Emotions or feelings?
It is hard to put into words. It is like the mind of a construct. It does not have emotions or feelings. It is very hard to read.
I'm just like glaring at Harry, like, oh, really?
Good question, Bart. I wondered when someone was going to ask the Mind Flayer if they sensed any other mind there. I was like, I almost offered it as free information. I was like, Albus wouldn't think to offer it. Like his character, a lot of his flaws are based around.
Yeah, that's fine.
A lot of his flaws are based around like making assumptions about other people because he knows so much. He just assumes everyone knows kind of what he knows, and so it's always a surprise to him when people don't. Yeah.
Harry,
and he's used to being part of a hive mind where all knowledge is shared, so it's really hard for him to be like, oh, I know this, but you do not. Because everything everyone else knows, he knows, always, with his mind open to,
Harry, do you know what Albus is talking about?
Well, I thought I was dreaming, you see.
Dreaming what? What dreams?
So
Are these the
suspicious,
giant
mate.
dreams?
Oh, look, a penny.
Normally I'd get you to roll. Normally I'd get you to roll a deception check and then have you act in accordance to the deception check. But I think in this case, I think we know what the roll would have been.
Harry never felt comfortable not telling the full truth to his friends anyway.
Yeah, I could tell you.
But he also
doesn't like
he
lying.
also doesn't know what it is or anything either.
Yeah.
So
Are these the giant dreams?
It's like the giant dreams, except not, because it's like in.
This is prime gaslight territory now. Yes, it's like that thing you said, but it's not really. But it's like that thing you said.
Yeah, but it's funny because Bart hasn't had a fucking giant dream yet, so
It's
he's
hilarious.
probably like, "Oh,
Is it like a black ocean?
Oh yeah. It's like a giant lake or a black ocean. Yeah, that's a good guess. It's a guess, right? How'd you guess that?
The only difference is, Harry, our dreams, as you say, haven't resulted in a different entity being picked up by an individual, and also haven't resulted in that occurring.
You remember that the archiver that we met that like talked to us in that dream? That when we stuffed up the replay, and he took us back and gave us a good slip on the wrist.
Yeah, I remember him. He was an interesting one.
Yeah, so it was a giant dream because it was like a dream world, but it was different because I was in my own body. And I met an entity like the archiver, and he told me to call him Figment. And that's when I thought it must be a figment of my imagination because nobody would be called Figment. So, yeah, I don't really know much. Either than when I had brain damage, he came to me and he said that, you know, like.
Is he why you've been
me alive?
out?
No, that was the sword in my head that
That was the necrotic sword that you now have wield as your dawn blade. Harry got like stabbed through the chest with it with the necrotic sword.
It was also the time I was struck by a rock that exploded and caused me minor brain damage.
Hang on, whoa. Don't you dare gaslight the DM. You tried to take a gemstone from inside a metallic housing and you dropped it and it exploded.
It exploded. No, I shot it.
You shot it with an arrow. That's right.
The rock exploded.
How many of these Blackie dreams with the figment have you had?
I believe 3 now. The first one he didn't tell me his name, and
I should add, Bart, by the way, this is not normal. I haven't had a Blackie dream. I haven't met a different person in the dream.
Well, we met the archiver technically. It was
yes, that was.
Albus, none of ours have minds coming from them, do they?
Yeah.
I sense no presence within any of your stones. Oh, wait. Bartholomew. Yours, it almost... It's like an echo. Very faint. Almost like it's...
We high-fived?
Yes, like an echo of a mind was there. Briefly. But not anymore. Like when you've consumed a brain. As the mind flame begins, like... And all that's left is the shell.
Oh, I don't think Bart's been consuming any brains lately.
No, like that. The feeling of an empty vessel. Like there was something there. Not long ago, I feel the traces it's left behind. Similar to Harry's.
Okay.
Are you able to communicate with the mind in my hand, in my stone?
I can certainly try. What would you like me to say?
Just quickly, Albus, Harry. Harry, is this thing safe?
Oh, pigment. Well, I mean, it saved me. It seemed strong, and it didn't seem to want to hurt me.
Yes, it's also...
Does it seem good or evil?
I mean, it's black.
What is evil?
Whoa! Just because that's a bit racist.
It was a dark color in shadows. That reminds you of Hadar, obviously, which is
the imagery of Hadar is a bright red star, a single point of light that draws in all other things around it. What you saw, Harry, is almost like ink. Imagine like a lake of ink, and you're standing atop it. This sort of strange metallic reflection. If anything, what it reminded you of was almost like an oil or like an ink. Is the best way to describe it.
It was definitely eerie, but I don't know evil or good. He said he was not evil. He didn't say he was good though. So, yeah.
Do what you would like, Albus. But I'm just concerned for your well-being.
Whoa.
Yeah, Albus's well-being or my well-being?
Albus's.
Yeah, fair enough.
Should I just say to this mind, greetings?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. His name's Figment, if you want to use his name. That way he knows that you're talking to him and not me.
You watch as Albus floats over, his long, slender purple fingers gently place atop the top of the gem, and as he closes his eyes, you see him concentrate for a moment and then slowly lift his hand.
It's hard to say what the response was. Sounded like noise and static. I do not think it wanted to speak to me.
It hardly ever wants to speak to me, so, yeah. Well, so the other thing is...
Oh.
The other thing, since we're putting it all on the table, I'd look like quite the ass if I didn't tell you guys everything.
You're putting it all on the table, not we.
Yeah, I was just lying on the table before, so it was really all on the table. Yeah, it wants me to observe and inspect. Well, it wants me to bring it to the power source at the Stone Giant's base.
Oh, that's why he was so insistent on it being a power source.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Ember, when you looked at it, what did you see?
When I looked at the gem in his hand.
Yeah.
I mean, all I saw was that it was some transmutation and abjuration magic. Aside from that, it was quite strong, and it did trail up his arm, like it is potentially slowly taking over Harry. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing at this point.
Going up his arm as if it's going towards his engine, his heart.
Well,
Maybe.
I was in a lot of pain when it did that, so like maybe it was trying to protect me.
I mean, Harry, I'm talking to Sylvie. We kind of suspect it might be because you've had a herb to open yourself up to magic for healing, and potentially the gem took that opportunity to try and take over you as well. I don't know, but that's just kind of my assumption at this stage.
Look, I want to help you, all things considered, Harry. My main concern is, for a brief moment when we touched tips before, there was a
That's how we're wording it.
explosion of energy.
Yep. You felt that connection deep within. I mean, when you docked hands together. Matt's face.
It lets me do this.
Sorry,
Harry
children.
opens the window, points his arm out the window, and shoots an electric blast.
He watches a blast of emerald green energy fires out of Harry's hand, out of the gemstone in the center of his palm as it disappears into the distance of the cave.
Yeah, I couldn't do that before the brain damage, so
So he's giving you power and wanting things. Look, this all feels, sounds, and also looks very familiar to when I touched the Kuatoan entity. I saw Figment for a moment, I think, when we exchanged gems. It gave me very bad vibes to that time when Ember and Niles saved me.
The Kuatoan one.
Yes.
I mean, you know for sure that the Kuatoan creature was the thing they summoned from their belief alone.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
But when I touched it, I remembered seeing it in an inky black void, and that.
So the one you saw was more like, imagine like it was almost like space itself, like without the stars. Imagine like this black nothingness. Whereas Harry's is much more like standing upon a lake of reflective material, like a dark quicksilver.
I think that's pretty similar.
It is a bit similar. It is a bit similar.
Yeah, I can understand why.
Lake's the symbolism for peace, guys.
All I'm saying is that this thing wants something of you. That thing is power, and in return, it's giving you power. It was a large, black, eerie area. This is screaming what went through me. But unlike me, where I was saved at the last moment, you've been dealing with this for, what, months?
Oh, no, just a few days. A few days? Or maybe a week.
About a
Maybe
week.
About a week.
It's also technically saved my life 3 times now.
Saved your life or saved its life?
I mean,
That's a pretty good question.
yeah, I don't even know how I contracted this. So, like, maybe it already exists in all our emeralds. to
Harry?
some extent.
Oh, okay. That's not technically a lie.
That's the
You're
fear.
fine. Carry on. That's not technically a lie. You're good. No, carry on.
It's not. It's 100% truth.
It's yeah. So when he said like I don't know how I contracted this, in my mind I thought he meant like how I agreed to the contracts. Like you blatantly agreed to the contracts, and then I realized he meant like how this thing.
Contracted it. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know. That's true. That's not a lie.
Harry, were you there? You remember the arc of this conversation we had?
Yeah. I've brought him up several times.
He did mention that there were other aspects, other other archivists spread out across this
Yeah,
network.
when I asked Figment, he said he wasn't associated with the Archivist either.
But the archivist also said that other versions of himself may or may not be cooperative. That is an interesting thing to maybe.
I thought he meant other archivists as opposed to other things, but maybe you're right.
Or maybe,
But
maybe he's an archivist.
It could be. I mean, he says that he's not related, but I mean, if I was having a bit of a situation where I was broken up into different fragments, an aspect might not want to be associated with me, if that makes sense. It's a little bit confusing, maybe? I don't know. I think what we're trying to say is maybe just tread very carefully. This is pretty scary stuff.
Talk to us.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll figure out what to do about the power source a bit closer to the time, because, yeah.
We're not talking about the power source. We're talking about you. Talk to us, and make sure you're okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, one last quick question. Elis, did the mine disappear when I held the bark thing earlier?
I don't know what you're referring to.
Oh, well, Elvin's supposed to be here for that. You might have
Yeah, it's upstairs.
Ember, do you mind if I hold the bark thing again?
You sure you want to do that again, Harry? That was pretty scary.
It was, but it'd be good to know if the mine's still present if the arm's deactivated.
Well, especially if we need to communicate with Harry without it hearing.
Yeah. Or if you need to, cut my arm off.
I think, Harry, you remember that the last conversation you had with Figment. Figment wanted you to tell the rest of the party. He wanted to meet them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, don't you remember?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
he said, like, last time he spoke with you, he said, like, it's probably good if you tell them about me at some point when we get to the power source. Like, that's probably a good time. I can speak to them directly.
Simon, you're on.
Oh, wow.
I forgot about that.
I thought you might have, which is why I've remembered you. Because for Dave, it's been like 3 weeks. For Harry, it's been about 6 hours since that conversation happened. So Harry,
you lived a lot of life between that conversation.
Yeah, he didn't say why he wanted the power source, right? It was just to power himself.
He said that it was important in helping to restore him, and he in turn could help provide you with benefits as well. Like if he was able to partially restore himself, he'd be able to shut down what the Stone Giants were doing, restore himself, and also give you access to more powers as well. But he said at the time, like, it's probably good that you tell the others about me at some point. When we get to the power source, I can talk to them directly if they also touch it.
Yeah. I forgot to mention, because I completely forgot. It just came back to me. Yeah, he said he'd be happy to talk when we get to the power source, and it'd be allow him to communicate. And he encouraged me to tell you guys about him when at an opportune moment.
Okay, that's
But
good then.
I
guess.
forgot. This is definitely not a lie.
Well, you've been through a bit, so I can understand that. Maybe.
Simon, when you were saying like we can use it in case we don't want it to listen, I instantly just got like flashbacks to being like a young boy watching a space odyssey when like the red eyes watching and reading the lips of the spacemen in the ship when they like lock themselves in that room.
Yeah. HAL 9000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
So can I hold that bath for you?
Of course, and I'll pint my boot. Feel free to grab it when you're ready, Harry.
Harry grabs it.
There's a snake in my boot. Oh no, it's just a Sousa sapling. Easy mistake to make. Harry, as you pick up the sapling again, that familiar feeling washes over you. Albeast cocks his head.
I sense no changes to the mind. Seems the same.
Okay, well, that's good to know. You stay right over, I guess. Thanks for the Elis.
So it's still
No
there, but it's
problem.
just not in control. Rather
The
than being
mind
completely
doesn't
dead.
seem to be extending outwards from what I can see. Just seems to be contained within.
Oh. So the mind isn't traveling up my arm, it's just in the one gem?
I don't know about that. I can only sense the presence of the mind inside the gem. Almost like a warforged mind. Mind of metal.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, good to know. It seems like we can't have any private conversations without your entity knowing about it, or what was it, your figment?
Yeah. Well, yeah, Behir is listening all the time. Oh, this is a scary thought.
You would also remember that Figment had to ask you questions last time you spoke with him. I love how much you've forgotten, Dave. Because Figment had to ask you about some things you'd seen and things you'd done.
This.
That's okay. There are a couple of things Figment had to ask you, which indicated, maybe would have come across, or maybe not. Maybe not to Harry's mind. Maybe that was just random noise. But
yeah, I think Harry might have been overwhelmed. By
there's a lot going on. And the fact that you were close to death when you last talked to Figment. So.
Yeah, and it's not like he's had a lot of time to reflect since then. So
no, that's true. It's been very much
we fought some worms directly after that.
And then when you were recovering, you spoke to Figment again, and that was when you were literally on the brink of death as a result of that sword wound. So yeah, there's not been a lot of opportunity to speak to Figment.
It's true. We've never had a friendly chat. It's always been, I'm about to die, can you help me? Yeah.
Speaking of which, okay, well, we should get hurrying then. Did you two want to round up Lyra from Tetarch and Threign from wherever he's punching things? Oh, and what was it? Is there Zerum? I haven't seen him in a bit.
Oh, he's just down here in the foyer. I mean, I don't know if we would have brought him up, but... he stayed in the main area from the garden. Owen, I don't know.
I would say that he was very unwilling to go near the Mind Flayer. Zerum, having heard much more intense stories than the surface world about Illithids, he follows you in downstairs and then sits at the table with Tetarch and Lyra, who are very excitedly talking through stuff.
Yeah.
Did you want to round up everyone and we'll be down in one moment?
Yeah, sounds good. I'll go ahead.
Perfect. Cool. No, I'll accompany you, Harry.
We'll see you in a bit. We won't be long.
Perfect.
Can Harry try another quick dance?
Absolutely. Do you want to give me a performance check, please? 18. Way better. Way better. What kind of dance do you want to do?
I really wanted another natural one.
Yeah, me too. I was like, you watch as his arm reaches up, grabs his face as he hits it back.
It's almost like a jump heel click, kind of like Mary Poppins style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Niles goes to grab you, and you just do a pause. He's like, oh, very good. Wow.
You feel great. I feel great now that I've told everyone. This was fantastic.
It's like a load off my chest. As Harry then just hops away, feeling great again.
You might need to let the others know as well.
Oh yeah, I'll follow them in. You mentioned you guys will be right behind us.
Yeah, not too far.
Perfect.
We'll catch
As Ember and Harry take off, Albus turns towards the two of you.
How may I assist?
Well, this kind of helps that you're a living directory. I'm still going to go over to the book and grab it back out again of the history of our people.
Yes,
Albus.
A history of the 4 elemental spheres. Rather a dense read, I find, but very accurate. Very accurate.
I only read a section on my side. I was hoping for both my knowledge, because I only read the first writer. Could you give me and Niles a run-through of the elemental plane of air?
Indeed. Well, I remember some of this book. It has been a while since I read it. My understanding of the plane of air generally starts with a discussion of the various locations, important landmarks, and the denizens. This is before the invasion of the Aarakocra and Owlin, of course. Things changed quite dramatically following the arrival of...
Niles, let him continue. Just let him continue. And I'm going to point and sort of, at this point now, have the book open in front of Niles with a picture of just portals and us flying out of them.
Yeah, so you see this artist's illustration of a portal into the plane of air and just thousands of armored Aarakocra and Owlin pouring out from this portal.
This can't be.
Oh yes, very, very important moment in the plane of air was the moment when it went from chaos to order. The last time the elementals of the plane of air were truly free, before the arrival of the Aarakocra and Owlin. And that, I'm going to be a real dick.
that is where we're going to wrap up for tonight, because I want to do that as a big cliffhanger to have the discussion next week, because it's too good an opportunity for a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yes.
Fuck.
Off the books, Matt, something that I was thinking of when you and you were talking with Harry about like ages.
Yes.
The Owlin, obviously. My family are all Owlin, and they're the leaders. I'm guessing other families beforehand in our line it's probably even just our family line, have all been Owlin. Owlins live around 150 years. Pretty good time period to pass down these sort of like Nepal Dalai Lamas to look over people for a long period of time. Aarakocrans only live for 30 years. The perfect zealots to breed, die off, and they won't remember jack shit other than what you teach them.
What's recorded, and whoever controls the scripture.
So there's just a bunch of none the wiser Aarakocrans, and all the Owlins are probably the ones that remember the truth, and they're the ones in charge.
That's so crazy. Well, and the other thing, so Christian and I are talking about this.
Oh,
stream.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been chatting.
Something that
I'm
dawned
so
me
happy.
The other day.
Yeah.
Something that dawned to me the other day, I was chatting to my friends about this. Like, I was just like, oh yeah, I played this Wednesday game at D&D, and I was like chatting about this big twist that you did. And it dawned on me, and I spoke to Christian about this as well. Because in Nostea, who controls the news? The guild, the Aarakocra.
Who controls
messengers.
all information being passed between the various locations? The Aarakocra Messenger Guild. Yeah. And famously were one of the big the moments of change in the ruin was when the Aarakocra, because magic couldn't be trusted to deliver messages. The Aarakocra and Owlin suddenly appeared and were able to ingratiate themselves with the prime deities. We can guarantee reliable and safe delivery of information from A to B.
So who are in the best position to be able to control the narrative and be
I'm so proud of you guys. You've I love how quickly you guys have picked up on this.
Exactly just like Fox News pushing their agenda on people.
Well, imagine if they only lived for 30 years. You spent 3 of those years as a chick, and the rest of it, you've got 3 years to figure out your brain and how it all works.
It's also like textbook. Like this is what a conquering force would do. They would take control of the media. They would take control of the news. Like they would it'll all be a propaganda thing. Like
they would teach the kids rather than the adults, because obviously the adults know the difference between right and wrong, and
they're only going to live for 5-10 more years on average anyway. So it was the moment when I realized what I could do with the Aarakocra and Owlin, because I obviously had the idea of the Aarakocra Messenger Guild. And how they sort of fit in with the ruin first, and then it was probably about 2 or 3 weeks after I first introduced that during the Tyranny of Dragons campaigns. This is way back, and I was like, that's potentially a massive power vacuum that someone within the Aeris. At that point, it wasn't even the Aeris Theocracy, because that was designed based on Bartholomew. At that point, I was like, there's some things we could do with this. And so I designed this whole kind of like secret history of the Aarakocra and Owlin, and then we never really got to it. It never really came, because no one played an Aarakocra or an Owlin, and we didn't really do much with the Aarakocra Messenger Guild. There was a whole arc in Tyranny of Dragons I kind of had on standby if you ever wanted to go down that way, but you guys didn't want to, and there were other areas that you went to instead. So I was like, okay, I'll park that and we'll get to that later. And then when you picked Niles as an Owlin, I was like, okay, we're going to get to have some fun with this. And then when Christian said, I'd love to play like an Owlin Aarakocra, and I want to sort of come in as someone who's from maybe like a noble class, I was like,
so good.
Let's go.
You can't write this shit, man. It's fucking nuts.
It's worked out perfectly.
It's worked out really well.
So much fun. I've had a lot of fun planning some like the deeper backstories. And if you were wondering, do all of the races of Nostea have like deeper lore to them? Yes, they fucking do. I've got pages of notes. I've got so much stuff. You should see what the gnomes are up to, man. Holy shit. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, everybody. It's wonderful to see you all. I hope you all had a wonderful time. If you're watching this on Twitch, don't go anywhere. We're going to go and raid a channel. I think we're going to go and raid the Australian TTRPG group, who are playing Dungeons and Dragons, doing Mines of Fendelver. Great campaign. Great campaign. So we'll go and raid them. They've got 2 viewers at the moment, so let's go bump their numbers up a little bit. For those of you listening to us on the podcast or watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. Google Podcasts is no longer a thing, so I have converted all of the episodes that were on Google Podcasts into the YouTube Podcasts format, so now you can listen to these on YouTube Music. It's the same playlists that already existed on YouTube. It was super easy to do, so it's now like across the board, so you can now get it on YouTube Music as well. I hadn't set it up properly until now because I preferred the platform of Google Podcasts. It was much easier to use, but it's gone now. They're getting rid of it. So it's all now across on YouTube Music. Otherwise, Spotify, Alexa, whatever else you want to use it on, it's all there. It's on the rest of them. I was just resisting YouTube Music because it's not the most user-friendly program to use for podcasts, but hey, that's all right. Google are making decisions. We just got to roll with them. But thank you so much, everybody. It's wonderful to have you all here. We will be back tomorrow night with our Avatar Legends campaign, The Legacy of Kyoshi. But until then, stay safe, stay well, and we will see you all again very, very soon. Goodbye, everybody. Farewell. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Thank you.